all our viewers. Thank you once again on behalf of IGNOU Regional Center Trivandrum and IGNOU Regional Center Aizawl for joining this evening session on the webinar series that we are holding on the great Srinarayana Guru. The webinar series, as you all know, is titled Srinarayana Guru's Vision on Sanatana Dharma, a message of unity, equity, equality, and spiritual awakening. And in the series, we have been holding several webinar sessions, and each has been very instructive, very informative, and we have had a lot of takeaways away from each session. First and foremost itself, I would like to request all the previous presenters also to put in their papers with us, so that we will be able to and try to get it released online. So once we get all the papers, we'll be working on that as well. Today's topic is of great importance and relevance because the world as such is in fact affected by not the absence of real knowledge. Unless and until we get the real knowledge about various facets, we'll not be able to take this civilization forward into the destiny that we all seek, that is an informed and successful society. That will not happen unless and until we have a real understanding of the various issues that go on around us. And this was the same concept upon which Srinarayana Guru also worked throughout his life. And he also put forth the fact that equity and enlightenment are basic facets of human civilization. And therefore, it has to be understood deeply. And there also has to be concrete steps on the part of each and every one of us to attain that. So today's topic, which will be delivered very eloquently by Dr. Dinda Muralidharan, Assistant Professor, Chinmaya Vishwa Vidyapeetham, Ernakulam, goes as such. That is Srinarayana Guru and the philosophy of education, a vision for equity and enlightenment. A topic which is very, very relevant in the world today. The world which is afflicted by the different forms of strifes and tribulations. This is indeed a topic which will enlighten us on the way forward and how we can bring about a revolutionary change in the way we think about various aspects in our society. We are indeed very fortunate that we have, as I mentioned earlier, Dr. Dinda Muralidharan, Assistant Professor, Chinmaya Vishwa Vidyapeetham, Ernakulam. Madam, it is a proud privilege to welcome you to this session. We are indeed very much honored that you have accepted our invitation and provided us with your valuable inputs and also your time for this session. So welcome to you on behalf of all the participants and also on behalf of IGNOU Regional Center Trivandrum and IGNOU Regional Center Aizawl. We are also happy that we are joined by a good number of participants. I'm sure more will be joining as the session starts. And we are also joined by a good number of participants on our YouTube live telecast, which is also being closely followed by a large number of people. And indeed, as usual, we have a lot of others who are interested in this topic and will definitely be viewing the recorded sessions on YouTube as well in future. So this is, we feel, a wonderful effort on part of both of these regional centers to preserve for eternity various facets of the values that the great Srinarayana Guru propounded in his times and which hold value even today. I am also thankful to my colleague at IGNOU Regional Center Aizawl, Dr. V.T. Jaljakumari, who has joined us and who is also doing all the background activities, including contacting the resource persons and putting her more than 100% to make this program a grand success. I welcome her also. And I also welcome participants from across the board, including various regional center We also have Deputy Director Dr. Pramila O from Vadagara Regional Center, and also a host of other dignitaries who have joined us from various walks of life. So without much ado, let me now hand over the floor to Dr. B.T. Jalajakumari to give a elaborate description of the attainments and profile of our very esteemed resource person, Dr. Dinda Muralidharan. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Once again, welcome all our constant participants, Sudhir Babu sir, Sudhira madam, Dr. Sunil Kumar, like that. So many dignitaries, I think, are with us, and we are very happy to welcome you all again once again. And today is the 10th day of our webinar series on Sri Narayana Guru's vision on Sanatana Dharma, a message of unity, equality, and spiritual awakening. On this occasion, we have Dr. Dinda Muralidharan, Assistant Professor at Chinmaya Vidyapeeth, Ernakulam, is with us. Her theme of presentation is Narayana Guru and the Philosophy of Education, a vision for equity and enlightenment. This is the theme of Dr. Dinda Muralidharan. Dr. Dinda Muralidharan is a Mumbai-born academician. She is a researcher and a spiritual practitioner with roots in Kerala. At Chinmaya Vidyapeeth, Ernakulam, she teaches philosophy, Indian knowledge system, and yoga. She's a trained nurse with BSc nursing from Turner Nursing College at Navi Mumbai. When she realized his spiritual enthusiasm and his skills in Indian philosophy, she identified this through the Chinmaya Mission's Youth Empowerment Program, and she pursued a 2-year Vedanta Gurukula at Sandipani Sadhanalaya, Hawaii, deepening her understanding of Vedanta, Upanishad, and the Bhagavad Gita. Dr. Dinda completed her post-graduation and PhD in philosophy from Mumbai University, focusing her doctoral research on social transformation through modern religion, a comparative study of Sri Narayana Guru and Swami Vivekananda. Her scholarly contributions have been instrumental in incorporating Sri Narayana Guru into Mumbai University's curriculum also. She conducted various workshops on meditation, yoga, and Indian philosophy, and has actively participated in health awareness and social upliftment programs across Mumbai. Dr. Dinda holds several certifications in Vedanta, yoga, pranic healing, Reiki, means the Japanese healing technique, and Indian philosophy, and has been felicitated by multiple organizations in the Ministry of Parliament Affairs. She is deeply spiritual and rooted in Indian traditions. Dr. Dinda remains committed to promote holistic education and social transformation through the integration of ancient wisdom with contemporary relevance. Her classes focus on integrating the spiritual depth of Indian philosophical heritage with the relevance it holds for modern society. She is particularly passionate about making ancient texts and concepts accessible and applicable in real-life contexts. The Youth Empowerment Program of Chinmaya Mission, which profoundly changed her vision in life and introduced her to Vedanta and the broader spectrum of Indian spiritual thought. She is actively contributing to social and spiritual outreach, conducting workshops on meditation on twin hearts, super brain yoga, and yoga awareness programs in collaboration with organizations such as NSS, SNDP, Kerala Samajam, Gujarati Samaj, and others. She has also taught in the Bhagavad Gita to community groups and participated in cancer awareness drives with the Indian Cancer Society. Her deeper learning reflected numerous certifications like Sri Narayana Guru's philosophy and level 2 yoga teacher certification, advanced pranic healing and Reiki, short courses in Buddhist logic, phenomenology, and Indian knowledge system, etc. Vedanta and youth empowerment certificates also she got from Chinmaya Mission, and her contributions were recognized and praised through the felicitations and commendations from Sri V. Muralidharan, Minister of State of Parliament Affairs earlier, and the Minister of Food and Civil Supplies Kerala, Sri G.R. Anil, Universal Confederation of Sri Narayana Guru Organization, SNDP Yogam, Guru Narayana Seva Niketan Kottayam, and etc. etc. So we are very much fortunate today with her presence as being a patron of the Universal Confederation and Sri Narayana Mandira Samiti, Sri Narayana Dharma Parivalana Yogam, Vedanti, Sri Narayana Prabodhan Sansthan, Samskrita Bharati, Chinmaya Yuva Veer, All India Malayali Association, Mumbai Mumbai Keraliya Samajam, Teacher and Healer, that is a World Pranic Healing Foundation, etc. are some of them. So we are very much happy, Dr. Linda, to have you with us for this journey, and you are most welcome to today's program. Please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for this vibrant introduction. Though lot of qualifications and all there. I saw my teachers are also there in this meeting. So I'm very privileged to present this paper in front of my teachers and all of you. So I'll start with the prayer and we will go to the slides and I'll explain that. Ajnanatimirandasya ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Good evening, everyone. Please give me a second, I'll just share the screen. Ma'am, I'm not allowed to share the slide.
Okay. Sajit?
സജിത്ത് അത് ഒന്ന് നോക്കിയേ, അത് റിലീസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമോന്ന്. ഓക്കെ ആണോ?
Are you trying? Is it possible?
Is it visible now?
No, it's not.
Is it visible, ma'am?
Yeah. It's okay. Now it's there. Please.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, welcome everyone and good evening to everyone who is sitting here. Today my topic is about Narayana Guru and his philosophy of education, which is entirely comprising of the vision of equity and enlightenment. So I have a co-author also, Mr. Pradeep Kumar, who is also working along with me in Chinmaya Vishwavidyapit. And in Chinmaya Vishwavidyapit, I'm teaching Indian knowledge system here. So I think it's very adaptable to understand about the contributions and the teachings of the Sanatana Dharma here in India.
It's okay, ma'am. It's
Okay. So I wanted to start the question with what is the definition of Guru according to Sanatana Dharma. So it says that Guru Shabdas Andakaraha Syat Ju Shabdas Tan Nirotaha Andakara Nirotatvat Guru Ityabhidiyate. The Guru word comprises of two letters, that is Gu and Ru. Gu means it's dark. We are standing in a room, maybe like in a dark room, and not knowing what to do in that way. So Ru means it's a light. It's getting hand.
any issue, ma'am?
It's not working. Am I audible?
No,
Yes.
it's not
Audible.
moving.
You are audible. If you have any difficulty in moving your slides, please send it to Madam.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
it comes.
now my screen is okay, sir.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
please.
it's fine.
It's moving also. Oh, okay.
Okay,
Please proceed.
so we were discussing about the Guru Shabda. Guru Shabda is saying that the expulsion of the darkness from our life. So one who does that, that person is known as Guru. So Gu Shabdas Twandakaraga Syad Ru Shabdas Tan Nirodhaha Andakara Nirodhatvat Guru Ityabhitiye. The same understanding you can see in Guru Stotram also. It says that Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalagaya Chakshurunnilidam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruvi Nama. Right? We are not able to see in a right manner. So the Guru comes and give the vision by putting the kajal on our eyes, and we are able to see it properly. So Guru plays a great role in our life. Same way you can see when we check out the history of Kerala, there were a lot of practices you could see like caste discrimination, untouchability, superstitious belief, no education were allowed for all the people, no entry to the religious place by the outcast, so-called outcast people. Unnecessary tax system was there. Also, always they made sure that we have some dependency attitude towards Savarnas. So these all practices were there when actually Gurudev was living, and he from the childhood onwards he saw it and he felt bad that people are not actually getting their privilege in the society. So coming to our Sri Narayana Guru's history and everything, everybody knows he was a great saint, and basically he was a Advaiti. He was a philosopher, social reformer from Kerala, and his actions start from 1888 by consecrating the Shiva ideal at Arupura, and he boldly declared that the spirituality is beyond the caste system. So when you check the history behind in 1819th century and all, before and you can see that there is a divisions of the timing, like before Sri Narayana Guru and after Sri Narayana Guru had drastically changed after the contributions of Sri Narayana Guru from 1888 to 1928. So he taught many things, how to become developing the attitude of unity, how to gain knowledge, how to be should be compassionate towards others and all such things. So one of the prominent thing which I felt to share with you guys is Srinarayana Guru was Guru in real. Literally, he had taken the darkness of our Kerala history, which was practicing in the form of all this caste discrimination and untouchability and all such things. So Sumar Alcott had written that Srinarayana Guru was a guru in real and conventional sense, Nothing is alien to his deepest sense. So my objectives to present this paper was to understand education which he handled in the form of social equity, ethical consciousness, and holistic learning. And also the second point, Guru's educational vision in bringing about social transformation and dismantling the caste hierarchies. Guru's education taught with IKS and the global education policies. How his vision can inform modern educational frameworks to address the issues like inequality, ethical erosions, and need for the humanistic development. So much more before already Guru had uh, worked on all these aspects, and nowadays we are acting through NEP 2020 system. So I'll start with the question that what is the meaning of the Devalayam or Devalaya? Devalaya we understood is as a abode of the god. But during the 19th century, this was denied for all the common people. It was in Sanatana Dharma, this was the idea that this is the abode of the God and where we can go and do the prayer, meditation, and develop our inner peace and walk in the path of spirituality. This was denied to the common people. The Guru start working on this aspect first. So rituals, the chant, the architecture, everything you can see around, especially the ancient temples, you can see that this uplift the human mind towards the spiritual realization. And our every celebrations which we are doing, whether it is Holi, whether it is Diwali, Navaratri, anything, everything has some or the other ethical, moral concepts acting behind it. And some stories also provided to understand it easily. So in ancient time, it was understood as a temple. It should be function as the center of village where the people can assemble together, exchange their ideas, share their joys and sorrows. Then they were. This was a place for community dining, marriage, and social welfare. Also, we can see gurukulas. Various gurukulams was there. No, we also know that we had two universities years like no ages ago itself. We had Nalanda and Takshashila, and the temples were working as like a information or educating center. And gurukulas and libraries or for the scriptures, everything was active with there. Now Vedas and Upanishads, philosophy, astronomy, Ayurveda, arts, every single thing you can connect it with the temple and the function of the temple when you go to the Sanatana Dharma studies. But also in the last point, I wrote that for common people, the temple is a sense of security and the hope. This was denied to the common people of the Kerala during the period, especially when Gurudev was there. So he opened to this path to everyone through the Silent Revolution Act by consecrating a Shiva idol in the Arivipuram temple. By and also he stated that Jadi Bhedam, Madadvesham, Edumillada Sarvarum, Sodaratvena Vaduna, Madruka Stanamanida. This is the place where we all should cherish the brotherhoodness. We are all the child of Mother Earth. Okay, so here we don't have, especially the word is very important. Jati Bhedam, we should not have. Mother Dvesha, there's no rebellious thought or no trigger actions against any of the opinions of the any of the religion and all such thing. So without the boundaries of dividing the walls of religion and caste, everyone will live in as a brotherhood and the ideal place for domestic. So when you visit the Arivipuram, you can see there the actual action of social unity Guru had started with. The place where supposed to be the educational center for the common people opened by Guru during the period of 1888. So he shocked by consecrating Shiva idol at Arivipuram, and until then, you all know that the Brahmins were only allowed to consecrate the temple idol or the particular deity. But Guru had changed the face of it, and he declared that spiritual power is not limited by any of the caste. Basically, caste should not be there because we should follow the humanity. So according to this philosophy, temples should be served as a social, cultural, and educational purpose. This should be the center of acting in all these aspects. So Arivipuram temple, where he started, was not planned just for the worship, but it's for the social reform, education, and community upliftment. There where the SNDP had started in 1903. So this reflected in his vision religion as a tool for human process, not as a divider. And also this changed the face, as I said, Kerala social reform, the way to fight against the right by the unprivileged people had changed from this moment. The irrationality between the caste system had they understood, and also they understood that knowledge and the spiritual realization is greater than the blind ritualism. We all know that how they were living, to which god they were worshipping, what kind of rituals they used to practice, how they were living, what was the conditions of their life. No wages, nothing, but they have been much more to the other people. So Guru then used education as a tool for caste oppression. In his writings like Jadi Nirnayam and Jati Lakshanam, you can see that he is completely negating the concept of the caste system. He says that everybody is got birth through the same process, and how we can categorize this person as a particular caste, this person as a particular caste. This division is not needed. So ignorance is the reason for the caste divisions. This guru had taught the people who were gathered around him, and he encouraged people to learn and have some self-respect by gaining the education, understand the equality among the human races. So Guru did not see the temples as a merely religious place, as a community center. It's for education purpose. And also you can see in Arivipuram temple, after the consecration, there was school was running, libraries were running, and the forms of discussions they used to conduct. So he even said that Vidya Gondu Puturaga, be enlightened through education. This was a direct call to the minds of the people to have their self-respect and the social upliftment, because they don't know that they are eligible for certain criteria, that certain things. That's why they feel or they dependency to the savarnas. So through the education, through the awareness, they will come to know that they are also the same as the savarnas. So he believed that through education, oppressed could be overcome the blind customs, untouchability, and superstitions posed on them. So the animal cutting and unnecessary to some of the practices they were doing in the temple in the name of the rituals, this they could overcome by understanding the uh, flaws in the practice. This they could do through by educating those people, and they will feel dignity when they work, they earn, whenever they earn their bread and have and all, they will feel dignity that because I know this, I worked on this, then I'm getting this. So this way the dignity, the self-respect, social upliftment had, this seed had instilled in the mind of the people by Guru's act during this period. So he consecrated many idols, over like 40 to 41 temples. You can see that in different ideas with deity, with sorry deity, without deity, mirror, different ideology. He had consecrated the temple to make them aware that you are also spiritually equal with the people who are around and ruling them. So I just put the SNDP Yogam, how they are started and working for the educational upliftment with Dr. Palpu and Kumar Nash and many other leaders. They started the SNDP Yogam in order to set up the school and colleges which is open to all community. Now you understand at that time Brahmins were only allowed to study the Vedas or the education process was only for the higher caste people. And if you hear the Sanskrit verses or you are going nearby to the schools and all, then you will get punished because you heard that particular teaching. So these all things, all communities were not allowed to enter and study. Guru had changed this phase by starting SNDP and gave the responsibilities to start n number of schools and colleges and allow all the community to come and sit and study there in the schools. Also, their practice, you can see that they are not bothered about the dress, the language, the religion, whatever it may be. It is the people's right to have the knowledge, because our guru had said that men may differ in their faiths, their language, and their mode of dressing, but there can be no evil in interdining in their marriage because they belong to the same kind of creation. So he had just changed the understanding of who all can take the education, who all can understand the or how it should work, how a college should be, who all can accommodate all these things. He changed our by establishing all this ideology and other action or other process. He started to make aware that you have to be educated, you have to be get awareness in the various aspects. Is for one of the great Tirthadanam, which is happening during the December time. That is Shivagiri Tirthadanam, which is started in 1920s, the discussion. And also things started in 1933, the first pilgrimage happened after the Samadhi of Sri Narayana. But the followings of whatever Guru taught is still practicing, like the symposium, seminar, debate, teaching, and all such thing happening on this 8 subject. That is education, cleanliness, pity, organized endeavor, agriculture, trade, handicraft, technical training. All these things will be discussed there. Now, as you know, first 4 is like self-development, internal development. You can pray, you can develop yourself. Next 4, you can see that it is the development you are gaining through the different skill developing in it. So Guru also started the vocational skill developing programs and all such things when he was there at that time. So he encouraged that it is not only the traditional way of learning, you have to develop in both ways, inner and outer aspect. So this also he encouraged. So he prominently said to the people that don't ask about the caste. Ask not, say not, think not about the caste, because discrimination happens when you start asking about it and when you think about it, when you talk about it. So don't ask about it. Emphasize that education should liberate from these hierarchies. No one is higher, no one is lower. Everybody is in the same seed of the creation. So, by spreading the knowledge beyond the caste line, he envisioned that education as the foundation of equality and justice. So, his disciple Nadaraja Guru sees this point as the Guru's is stress on the education is not just social reform, but he is also structuring the internal consciousness development, where he is putting the inner personality development importance. So it is not that we are outside, everything is structured and our character is not developing. Guru says that it should be developed in both aspects, lifting individuals from narrow identities towards a universal human dignity. Same way I took the thought form of Niti Chaitanya Edi. He also said that the rejection of the caste which Guru had done is not via this social protest. This is where, no, just mentioning him as a social reformer, it's not right, because he doesn't do only the social reforming, he also changing the attitude of the people. So, but a spiritual statement he did by awakening the awareness of the oneness of humanity. We are all one. We Vasudeva Kudumbakam attitude we need to develop. So this is the attitude Guru is trying to put in the minds of the people when he emphasized that you should learn um, and develop your attitude in the world. So jati chodikkeruthu, vicharikkeruthu, parayeruthu. When you think, then only when somebody asks, somebody puts or instill a seed in your mind, then only the thought is developing. Then because of that only you will start doing the actions in the form of verbal or physical and aspects. So no need of asking first of all who, which caste you are and also. So this is the way the social education was happening with the guidance of the Sri Narayana Guru. And we know even Gandhiji praised the work of Guru did in the Kerala. He praised that the eradicating untouchability. Now, when you think about the untouchability, it is not about just a physical untouchability. The untouchability they asked also for the air you breathe in. Like no, when the lower caste people, if they are breathing it out, and that exhalation, if it is touched to the body of the Savarnas, then that person got polluted. This was the understanding. So it is very entirely something different from the other states, how they were practicing the untouchability. So Guru worked for eradicating untouchability and spreading education among oppressed castes. Gandhi has praised, and he also said that the temple entry proclamation, where he started from the belief system and changing them to spiritually, ethically, and emotionally, this act was praised by Gandhi. By temple entry proclamation and the spiritual educations were essential for the social equality. And also, he wrote in Young India acknowledging that Guru's revolution was non-violent method he used. He didn't even, in his lifetime, you don't see Guru is being rebellious on any of his actions. Now, education plays an important role in the ethical consciousness also. So, one in kind, one in faith, and one in God in man. Oru jati, oru madam, oru devam, manishana. This is one of the famous thing you can see in Guru's teaching all around the world. They shall spread. So, for Guru says that education was not merely about the information. It's not just gathering the information. I know this. No, this is not the idea of the education, and but about the shaping ethical awareness in the people. Also, he said that learning should instill the universal values, something called truth, compassion, and unity, guiding individual towards moral living and social living. So it's a like complete complete development, holistic way of development is happening. So this ideology should be given to the people through the education. If this is not happening, you are just gathering some or the other information as like no even a computer can gather and uh, put it into the words. This is not the idea of the education. If it is not changing you, then it is not instilling the values in you, then it's not the education properly happening in your lifetime. This is also Naraja Guru's value view I put. It's like a value based education system. Now we are doing in the NEP 2020 system, some of the values based system and all system we are uh, teaching the students in their curriculum. But Guru had taught us much years before itself. So where the ethic arises naturally when someone sees life as an integral whole. So he will become a personality of understanding the purpose and the necessity of being active in the social and the spiritual manner. You also in the Nitya Chaitanya, these views is like giving yourself awareness. This was happening in the Gurukulam time. The students who were studying in the Gurukulam, after completing their Gurukula studies, they know what is the purpose of their life and what they are supposed to be done throughout their life. All this vision was there. But in between, what happened? We lost all this, and our students and all are just collecting the information, writing the exams, and getting the certificates. This was the ideology. And this is not the actual education we are supposed to be done. And Guru had already give all this guidance to all of us by providing the ethical consciousness, awareness, and developing into it. So in a way, it is a attain freedom to education. Vidya kondu pravurtharagalagal vidya kondu swatantraguvin. These all are the peculiar motivating quotes you can see from the Gurudevan. So he saw that education is the tool for both inner and outer freedom, and also in his view he says that we should harmonize the body, mind and spirit, leading to the both material progress and spiritual awakening. Aiming so should liberate both materially and spirit. This is something different from other saints who are teaching in the ashram scenario, that not only materially you have to develop, you have to not only spiritually you you have to develop materially. You should able to stand on your own foot. So you have to develop both the skills. Both you should be able to handle both ways. You should be able to develop uh, the consciousness, awareness, and ethical awareness, and all such thing. This rightly Nataraja Guru Swamiji had said that this is a integral humanism that is happening, combining in every aspect. So Guru's writings also teaches us the how to develop scientifically, philosophically, and spiritually, how to develop and educate ourselves. Nitya Chaitanya, these views, it is the inner dimension of the self, allowing our body, mind, and spirit. This also, I would like to quote Swami Chinmayananda, also who wrote the book Self Unfoldment. He came up with a chart stating that unless you didn't use your means properly, body, mind, and intellect, you are not able to focus on the or develop on the inner personality strength, because you will roll around to object emotions and thoughts, and you will become the perceiver, feeler, thinker of it, and you will have likes and dislikes, and you are away from the development of your ethical consciousness. So this way, the holistic way of learning or holistic way of understanding things, Guru had emphasized in his teaching. Now, since I am also like to connect it with the Indian knowledge system. Now, what is Indian knowledge system is doing here? How the Sanatana teachings can connect with the Guru's work. That's what they're focusing here. So, some of the Guru's literary work I took from Atmavadesha Shadagam, which is very typically he is going around the Vedanta concepts and all such things, and Upanishad. And this particular work, you can know that he got from many of the Upanishads. അവനവൻ ആത്മസുഖത്തിന് ആചരിക്കുന്ന അപരനും സുഖത്തിനായി വരണം. So these all are the famous thing, Advaitic aspects you can see in Atmavadesha Shadakam. So what ethical value Guru is providing, you can see that self inner realization, how our mind and intellect should be pure, our inner purity, how it should be, how we should be ethically awareness. Many of the verses you can see that Guru is again and again emphasizing that തെളിഞ്ഞിടയണം, വിളങ്ങിടയണം, അമർന്നിടയണം. When he says that, he is putting the effort to tell us that may you have the focus on your holistic development. And in Devadarshakam, you know, ദൈവമേ ഒന്നൊന്നായി എണ്ണി എണ്ണി തൊട്ടെണ്ണും പൊരുളൊടുങ്ങിയാൽ നിന്നിടും ദൃക്കു പോലുള്ള നിന്നില സ്പന്ദമാണ്. It's entirely a universal prayer where we can pour our emotions in at the altar of the uh, God, and we can say that. Still, he emphasized the teaching of Sanatana Dharma, that when I count one by one of the material things here, I will end up everything in you. So cultivates the devotions and humilities and universal, because nothing is mine. Everything is a provision of the God. So I'm nothing. I'm just a devotee, and I'm just an instrument who is acting in the hand of the God. This is the idea you can get it from. So Bhakti tradition, you can see that. And in Jadi Nirnayam, Upanishadic idea of Ekam Sat Vipraha Bhakta Vadanti, you know, one consciousness in different names, the people are talking about. We also in Indian philosophy, you can see that we have 9 schools coming up with different way of expressing about the consciousness itself. Consciousness is there, consciousness is not there, consciousness is no, it's in two, it's in it's one. So the different ideologies are there. But the state Upanishadic idea of the oneness is just enumerated in the n number of ideologies. So learning should remove the ignorance, and the caste discrimination should be eradicated from the minds of the people. So this guru had emphasized. So he even pointed out that we all born in the same manner. Vyasa, he enlists the people. They all were great, and all such thing is mentioned in the critique of caste. Arriva again, it is two subtle topic. Jnana Yoga and practical ethics is talking about. So knowledge, if it is not transformating, so as I said, it's not worth enough to gather the information. Knowledge must transform us. It's not just intellectual. It is in all aspects. It should be changed in a wide manner. Darshanamala, it's again a wonderful composition Guru had written. He is coming up with the ideologies of different darshanas, Vedanta, Sankhya, Yoga, philosophy, everything is integrated. And the holistic way of education he is providing in the garland of essence or the Darshanamala, you can see he is talking about the philosophy, how ethical we should be, how spiritually we should be evolved. So you can see, like, I enumerating one by one, you can see in every verse, we just feel that this is a spiritual text. We can recite on one evening, and then every day evening we can do that. But through the words, he is actually providing, or he is actually encouraging us to develop ourselves in a broad aspect. So Advaita Devika, you can see that Advaita Vedanta, unity of self and Brahman, Brahmaikyam, which is the main topic of Advaita Vedanta. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaivana Aparaha. When all this concept has been elaborately again and again, he emphasized, and it should he should feel that it should remove the ignorance and reveals the oneness philosophy in us, and understand that we are all the child of one mother, that is Mother Earth. This understanding has to become in our. So this is the way the IKS is working with the ideologies of the or the literary work of the Gurudev. There are other n number of works we can see. I just took this much only, and even the action when you see Aripuram temple as the center of knowledge and equality, and it broke the monopoly of just doing the rituals and all. It's also acts as the education center. In Ishavasya Upanishad, we can see he had changed it into Sanskrit, because common people don't understand Sanskrit. So he made the philosophy accessible to the common people and promoted literary in Malayalam. In schools, Gurukula model of holistic learning, and also integrated the modern subject with values, ethics, and empowering and marginalized communities. He was ready to discuss about anything in the world around, like modern subject or ancient subject, or so. This is the impact you can see in establishing the schools and colleges. Again, vocational, we cannot leave just by learning. Also, we need some of the artha, right? Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. This also we need. So he helped to people to have weaving, carpentry industry, because education and self-reliance should be happen. So he linked the learning to the life skills and the economic independence. And also in Tirthadana, you can say Dharma, Artha, Seva. IKS applied to the society, and it should be eight focuses, which already we discussed. His focuses is on the development of the people, the self, and also the society. And the writings again, it emphasized the social knowledge and equality and unity of humanity as a foundation of the education. So basically, we need to understand that we are all one family, which Gurudev wants to see in us. There's no different in me and you and all such things. So I also try to understand how this work on the Guru's vision work on the global education policies. So, education for all. This again, UNESCO is coming up with the education for all project. This is a sustainable uh, development goal established, which is the fourth one. So, Guru anticipated that education must be inclusive, equitable, and universal. Everybody is eligible for the education. No, none of the, and Kerala also we know that every kid until his 14 years and 15 years should go to the school, and all this act is because of this result of the action that happened prior during the period of the Sri Narayana Gurudevan. So, and learning mother tongue, so UNESCO policy of the multilingual education, you can see. So he recognized that understanding more, even if like no, we are talking in English for the academic purpose and all. But if we read in our own language, more understanding of the particular thing will be happen in the minds of the people. So it's very necessary that people should be aware about their uh, learnings in the mother tongue also. Also in vocational and life-oriented training, you can see the philosophy of don't waste mathematics and the practicality, learning by doing, and also in UNESCO's activity like TWET, technical and vocational education. When these are things much more before you can see in the actions of Gurudevan. Guru's weaving, carpentry, self-reliance approach, everything mirrors that the skill-based job-oriented learning should happen. It's not only academic. So ethical and spiritual well-being, again Socratic moral education. You can see that Gandhi's nine talim humanistic education, where it says inner growth should happen, ethical awareness, self-knowledge, education, ultimate all of these actions before we are coming up with the different policies, this was already established. Even Advaita philosophy, you can see human right education, global citizenship education, Guru teaching the humanities, the one of the anticipated global discourse on peace, equality, citizenship beyond, and caste hierarchy or caste race should be there. So there should be a notion of the nationality should come. So, what are the model challenges we can address with the vision of the education vision of the Sri Narayana Gurudevan? Inequality access to the education. Though we say that we are providing education, still some criteria and all such thing is not practiced. So we can promote the inclusive, equitable education, universal access of caste, class, gender, no need of asking caste and class and all such thing. Provide education to everyone, and ethical value. We can curriculum can be integrated with more on ethical development, empathetical, environmental care, and social responsibility. And currently what happens, we are all studying, giving exams, having some marks and getting the job. This is the idea of the students. When I asked in my students, to my students also, they were saying, why are you studying? Then they were saying that ma'am, we need job to be, so that we are there. So this is not the purpose of the education actually. So it's to develop the academic understanding, life skills, spirituality. When all this comes together, only the holistic development will happen. Again, in the vocational orientation, weaving, carpentry, this is also can be addressed to the TWET and NEP 2020 for self-reliance and employability. Advaita philosophy, humanity beyond the caste as language. Again, global citizen education, nurturing peace and harmony and intercultural respect. Fragmentation of knowledge, you can see when the integration of the IKs and Guru's integration of IKs with the modern subjects, this blending study of the science, culture, spirituality, this is where the IKs is actually working, blending the knowledge with the modern thing to sanadhana and dharma. So in conclusion, if I want to say that he had worked in the every aspect of the learning, right? So he says that it's true education is not complete without ethics. We don't want to produce simply some students not having ethics, how to behave, or not having the mindset of seeing others as himself, and not having practical skills. We need the generations to come with all these aspects. So he already dreamt this much more before the society where knowledge break down all these barriers of inequalities and people will live with the dignity and compassion. His vision like വിദ്യ കൊണ്ട് പ്രബുദ്ധരാകുക, സംഘടന കൊണ്ട് ശക്തരാകുക. Okay. So this all will come when we actually teach or come with the curriculum when we add the ethics and equalities and the practical skills which remain even in the today. So let's carry forward his message by ensuring the education continues to be pathway freedom, unity, and humanity. Education should ensure that person is enjoying his freedom and he has the attitude of unity and he is living with the approach of humanity. So again, this, as I said in the beginning, education aspect of Sri Narayana Gurudevan is a vision of equity and enlightenment, and I'm very thankful for the uh, coordinators who called me, accepted my paper, and invited me to do this presentation. Thank you for the opportunity. I thank to everyone who listened to me, and thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that very precise, clear, and concise presentation. It is, in fact, very good to see that you have brought out various facets which normally don't get discussed too often. The sense that the linkage between Sri Narayana Guru's concepts on education and the new education policy is something very revealing, because we all knew that Sri Narayana Guru's concepts were very closely aligned with SDG 4 of the Sustainable Development Goals of UN. However, there is so much of linkage between Sri Narayana Guru's thoughts and indeed the NEP 2020 is also very heartening and very interesting to note. Thank you for bringing out that very interesting facet. And one more important thing that you have clearly mentioned in your very elaborate thesis is that without the real practical, spiritual, and ethical knowledge, education is always incomplete. Something which Sri Narayana Guru had so correctly and so precisely stated several years ago. And the association between Sri Narayana Guru and Gandhiji, and Gandhiji's appreciation for Sri Narayana Guru's work has also been very secondly brought out in your statements. So thank you for making that very elaborate and very beautiful presentation. We all enjoyed it, and I'm sure there are a lot of aspects which need to be discussed, and our very learned audience is indeed waiting to discuss all these aspects with you. So the floor is now open, and I request and invite each and everyone in the audience to put forth their views and also ask any question and make their queries on this topic. Over to all of you.
Hey, Madam.
Yes, Sugita ma'am, please come over.
Anyway, let me appreciate Dr. Linda.
I think you are muted. Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, yes, it was on.
First of all, let me appreciate Dr. Linda for taking such a vast paper for presentation, and her presentation was, as Dr. Rajesh said, it is precise and clear. And I think she has mentioned that Guru's philosophy of education was intended mainly intended to connect education with day-to-day life of common man. Even we can't separate or we can't eliminate any word or we can't omit any word or act done by Guru is not education. Almost all words and all actions of Guru is related to education. Even if he acts something with his hand, that also related to education. And Linda, I would like to say, I think, have you referred the Dakshinamala?
Yes, ma'am. Some of the court I have taken.
But anyway, I think you wrongly stated that Darshanamala, the work is compilation of Sankhya Darshana, Nyaya Darshana, and other Darshana. Darshanamala is not a work like as you mentioned. It is one truth is
Yes, it's divided into 10 sections.
like one house in a 10 sections. Like one house view. If you view the house of one side of from one part, you will see the one part, and other if is one truth viewed with the different aspects. That is because one is methodology and the other chapter is phenomenology, like that. Don't misunderstood that it is a combination of different darshanas.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Almost all activities and words, even a word or done said by Guru is related to education. If you go through his biography and almost all his writings are also like that. Even in Stotra Gadis, in while worshipping a god, in Stotra Gadis also will give us some education. Because in one of the stotras, in Sadachiva Darshana, there is a one line that is Janam Ninekyum Okkayim Jaikyum. In Sadashiva Darshana, there is one line Janam Ninekyum Okkayim Jaikyum. So even in Stotra, he give us education. And Guru said Paravidya and Aparavidya. Related to education, one is related to our formal education, Aparavidya and yes, Paravidya. That also you have to include in your paper. Anyway, I can appreciate and congratulate you. You may include these points also to this paper.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sujita ma'am, for those very interesting and valuable views. Dinda ma'am, would you like to respond to any of the points which has been raised? Or else we can go to the other speakers as well, other persons who would like to respond. Okay, fine, ma'am. Okay, Subhashji, please come on.
Hello, thank you, ma'am, for a nice presentation. Actually, I am having some discussing some points. First is related to Guru's vision of education, properly mixing all languages. He started an English medium school, and the other side started a Sanskrit school. And he wrote all works in Tamil, Malayalam, and Sanskrit. So three languages he used. And as a form of education, he promoted English education and Sanskrit education. But that is important. Actually, the Indian spiritual education mostly related to Tamil and Sanskrit. But he perfectly integrated these two languages and the rich tradition of these two spiritual traditions in the Indian context. So that is an important point. Another point is that the Advaita Vedanta presented by Narayana Guru is not just a mere self-instruction. It is a revalued and a restated form of self-instruction as stated by Narayana Guru. Because we can see the some of the Vedantic examples were changed. For instance, a rope and a snake. That example perfectly changed by Narayana Guru to give a new vision of Vedanta. And that integrated Vedantic vision is there in the foundation of Guru's teaching. And that integrated Vedantic vision was used by Narayana Guru and presented a thesis in.
Yes.
I think there is some audio problem.
Yes, sir.
I think if you could have made out much of what sir was saying.
Yes, I understood. I didn't emphasize. I just put in a modern.
1932 value-based education. As even values we can see from the Yogane Visheshana, Yoga, that type of steps of education was utilized by Nadaraj Guru from the inner aspect of philosophical vision of Narayana.
Yes.
Actually, we are saying ethical education, value-based education, everything is a mere general statement, and implying and applying it into the every stage, from birth to the death. We have to apply it in different method and mode of teaching. That was researched by Nadaraj Guru. So without integrating the vision of Nadaraj Guru, we cannot say that the proper, we cannot define the educational contribution of Narayana Guru. And further,
Yes,
the
sir.
Vedantic context, Nadaraj Guru implied it as Vedanta revalued and restated. One book is also there.
Yeah.
So that Vedantic context, we have to be properly understand to arrive at the conclusion that an integrated vision is possible in the education system. So whenever we are teaching a student at the age of 3, we are interfering in the negative education field. That we have to study. In the new education policy also, that important aspect is not addressed. That we have to address. It is an open forum. We have to address the negative education loopholes. We have to address the idealistic education aspects. We are only concentrating on the pragmatic aspect of the education. So that aspect was perfectly studied in a scientific way by Nadaraj Guru in the Sorbonne University thesis. So whenever we are talking about the Narayana Guru's education philosophy or education, we have to connect it to the general philosophical understanding of Narayana Guru and the vision provided by Narayana Guru in the Indian and the Western education context. So an
Yes.
integrated view was already presented by Narayana Guru. That is an important aspect we have to connect. But just generally saying that ethics, every guru is already said the ethical form of education. That is not the idea presented by Narayana Guru. In the Advanced also, we have to see the applied aspect in by its disciples. That is why he influenced his disciple Narayana Guru to go deeper into the aspect of education. And his vision actually moved towards Sorbonne University also. So this connectivity from the Guru's teachings to Sorbonne University presentation is an integrated approach. Further, English, Tamil, and Malayalam or Sanskrit are important core of education process in Narayana Guru's teaching. That we are forgetting means nowadays there is a vision only concentrating on the Hindi or Rashtra Bhasha we have to study, but this integrated approach of English education, Tamil scriptural texts, all these things we are avoiding in the general context. So that when we are integrating all these vision, we can achieve the Nalanda or Takshashila form of education and attracting the students, foreign students outside also.
Yes.
To learn here. Instead of going to Canada or some UK, people are studying for pragmatic education. People will come over here. Whenever we are providing an education system, an integrated vision is possible. That is an important aspect provided by Mataji. And I'm presenting this for much study in this field of education. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I will add your points in my paper. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Subhash sir, for those very valuable points. I'm sure your points will definitely enrich the quality of presentation of Dr. Muralidharan. And this is what we indeed intend through these discussions, so that the value base of each presentation gets augmented through other enriching thoughts which come in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely.
Definitely, sir. Sudhir Babu, sir, would you like to come in?
Yeah. Please. Dr. Dinta, it was a beautiful presentation, and I especially congratulate you
Thank you, sir.
on your effort to interlink Sri Narayana Guru with NEP 2020, so that the NEP 2020 could be more meaningful in implementation in all states in India. I have 2 points to make. One is SNDP Yogam was, in a sense, established by Sri Narayana Guru as a tool to implement his ideology in every aspects, not only in the education aspects, but in all other social, spiritual, and cultural and religious. In all multidimensional aspects, he was using SNDP Yogam as a tool. But after his demise, the role of SNDP Yogam has been strident away from the intentions of Narayana Guru. How we can place SNDP Yogam as a tool now to implement the goals of Narayana Guru, at least in the field of education. Is there any significance in the existence of SNDP Yogam in our current social context as envisioned by Sri Narayana Guru? The second is, you have used 2 words in your introduction, 2 highly politically charged words, that is equity and equality. I think these 2 words are highly politically charged. And equality, we all know. But equity, in the given context of Sri Narayana Guru's teachings, how do you place equity and equality in the same pedestal with the visions of Guru? Could you explain a little
Sir,
more on it?
No, I understood it as a equality only, where we can consider everyone in the same manner. I didn't, as like you, I didn't understood it as a politically charged and different things. I'm sorry for that. I understood it as a equality vision which we can generate.
No, the word equity is nowadays used as a politically charged purposes against many of our ethical values and social values also. I don't feel that these 2 words, equity and equality, go together for many purposes. So it is, I feel personally, I don't insist that it is better that if you take little consideration about these two words.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for those very important statements that you have made. I'm sure that will be taken into consideration by Dr. Muralidharan, and definitely she will work on that. Thank you, sir, for those views, sir. And Sabu, sir, welcome once again. We are eagerly waiting for your views as well.
Linda is laughing at seeing me. Oh, actually, only after listening to her biodata, I came to know that she is such a versatile personality. So she very efficiently coordinated the first course of Mumbai University certificate course in a very disciplined way. So I knew her by that time onwards. Not as Linda as shiny. At that time, she was shiny. So congratulations, Dr. Linda Muralidharan. I want to highlight 3 points. One is you presented Narayana Guru's educational philosophy as a holistic approach. Number 2, you linked it with the modern education system. That's a very essential thing because we cannot live in the past. How that can be used in today's educational environment or ambience. Also, you stated that the global significance of Guru's education philosophy, linking it with United Nations. So these 3 points I want to highlight. And I'm not going to the much details, as Dr. Subhash said, as your next level of studies, you must take up Narayana Guru's World Education Manifesto. So even while Sudhir Babu presented almost the same topic, I suggested the same point. Unless we study Narayana Guru's World Education Manifesto, a holistic picture of Narayana Guru's education policy will not be clear, because that was not purely theoretical. The applied aspect is very important also. Where we said about the job seeking, so we cannot avoid that. People need a job because we cannot leave otherwise, unless we are living in an ashram or a monastery. No, that also has to be taken into consideration. There's one point, and another point raised by Dr. Sugita. It's not a small mistake, it is a very big mistake. So you must correct it. Not like that.
Yes, sir.
I want to underline that point.
Yes.
And some wrong notions, common notions, you quoted Narayana Guru's Vidya Gandu Prabhudraga. That is not actually Guru's words. Our common notion is that it is given by Narayana Guru. Not like that. It was endorsed by Narayana Guru. It was actually taken from the slogan of an old publication from Calicut, Midavadi. Midavadi Kishan was a disciple of Narayana Guru. And in his Midavadi's newspaper, their slogan was, educate that you may be free, organize that you may be strong. So when T.K. Madhavan taken up the organizational work of SNDP Yogam around 1924, he adapted that slogans from Midavadi and read it out to Narayana Guru. So what I came to know is that probably Narayana Guru told Swami Muni Narayana Prasad, he told me in a private talk, that on listening to this slogan, Guru said, Kollamallo, that's good, Kollamallo. So Guru endorsed it. There's nothing wrong in quoting it. But actually, the history is different. It's very clearly given in the history of SNDP Yogam by Professor P.S. Velayudan, and also given in the biography of T.K. Madhavan. Both these books, it is very clearly given, but it is taken from. So we have documental evidence also, in addition to Swami saying that is there. And another slight tone of objection from my side is that you quoted that Jadi Chodikiradu, Parayirdu, Vicharikiradu. Don't ask us, think us. But you were doing the same thing, isn't it? In your presentation. To me, it seems that too much of cash came into.
Yeah.
More than what is recorded in the context of Narayana Guru's philosophy of education, because our main theme is philosophy of education, and one of the great advices of Narayana Guru is that don't live in the past, live in the present. So when we take up Narayana Guru in 2025, better to at least minimize this 19th century historical baggages. So that will be good will not be good for our progress. So that's one point I want to raise. And also there was some reference about Avarna and Savarna. Narayana Guru was not an Avarna Guru, he was an Avarnaniya Guru.
Correct.
Avarnaniya means who cannot be properly explained or incomprehensible. So that type of, I think that is not required in 2025 also. Even somebody asked Narayana Guru, why you are cooperating with SNDP Yogam after saying Uru Jadi, Uru Vadam, Uru Deivam, and you are saying that there is only one caste, one religion, one God for man, and you are cooperating with a communal organization. Why is like that? The answer is very clear. Is that the caste system of Hindu religion is like a madalam, a percussion instrument madalam. On the one hand, we can see the so-called upper caste Brahmins. They have a lot of positive qualities. Their education, culture level. At the same time, their attitude towards the other castes are not good. So they should be corrected. Then he said, on the other end, we can see Parayas or Pulayas. So they have a lot of cultural problems, but their ethical value is very high. So they also need some correction. So on both ends, he saw the necessity of certain corrections, and he said, Gilwa community is in the middle. If you stand in the middle and catch hold of two ropes from both sides, I can bring both the sides to the center.
Right.
So he was neither in favor of Avarnas nor in favor of Savarnas. So better be avoid Guru as presenting us
Yes.
in that Avarna context. That's what one point I wanted to present. And also the year of birth of Narayana Guru, it is not 1856. Guru himself has clarified that that is not his year of birth. It can be either 1854 or 1855. Recently, even I published a note because that is based on his Shashti Purti, 60th birthday celebrations in 1916. Guru many times objected that my Shashti Purti was already over. It is already over about 1 or 2 years ago. It's quoted by Dharmanandaji, Kottagogil Velayudan, and another person who attended the Shashti Purti, E.V. Gopalan. So all these people quoted that it is not 1856. So please correct that. Not
Yes, sir.
normally many people still use that 1856. It's not like that. And Sudhir Babu sir made one comment. Narayana Guru implemented SNDP Yogam. That's again a wrong notion. So during the formative stages of SNDP Yogam, Narayana Guru put a question before the organizers. Am I inside your organization or outside? Nam Ningaluda Sangatanayude Agatto Puratto. This question was asked. They said you are outside. You are outside. So Guru was outside, but he cooperated because he knew the strength of an organization, the need of an organization, the power of an organization for what you call the social equality, all this. Organization was required. He cooperated for 13 years. 1916, he totally rejected SNDP Yogam. Again in 1927, after the bylaw amendment of SNDP Yogam to give membership to all communities, he cooperated. It was not installed by Narayana Guru. Dr. Palpu, Kumar Rasan, all these people were there. Even he objected using his name. He raised that objection with Kumar Rasan. Kumar Rasan said, already the Diwan has agreed to give registration with that name. Now that name cannot be changed. Guru did not say anything. But he asked one thing. You are calling me as a Guru and you are advising me. So hereafter, I will call you as Asan. So after that, Guru called Kumar Rajan only as Asan because you are advising me. So that's again a wrong notion. Guru cooperated. It's nice. That's very correct. But he was not the founder. Founder was different. Of course, they made him the president of SNDP Yogam. For how many meetings he presided over is another thing. So thank you. These are some points that came to my mind.
Thank you, sir. As always, your vision and words are very, very instructive and very much in the context of the presentations made. Definitely, today is not different, and it will definitely enrich the quality of the presentation and the written work that Dr. Muralidharan will be submitting to us. I'm pretty sure about that. Thank you, sir, once again for those wonderful interventions. If anyone else wants to further elaborate this discussion, they are more than welcome to do. Okay, I think we have been having a very elaborate and very enriching type of discussion. A lot of points have come in. we started with Dr. Dinda Muralidharan's exposition of a topic. Then several very, very interesting and very precise comments did come in, which enriched the academic quality of the discussion and took it to a different level itself. I'm sure everyone would agree to that. And definitely it's time now for Dr. V.T. Jaljakumari, Regional Director, Ignoring Center, ISOL, to give her overall view about today's presentation as well as the discussions, and also propose a formal vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. At first, let me congratulate Dr. Dinda Muralidharan for the beautiful presentation, very systematic presentation, and formally you were following all the rules and regulations of the presentation using very systematic research paper like that. Maybe because of your, it is the part of your research topic, I think. Anyway, congratulations. But always, as always, our platform is a platform for learning. For all, not only for the presenter, not only for the discussants, but for all. That is the blessings and beauty of this platform, I think. Today also, Sabu sir, Sudhir Babu sir, Subhash sir, Sugita ma'am, and all were giving suggestions and comments, and also additional points were also delivered from by these our participants. This is also good. Guru was also mentioning that വാദിക്കാനും ജയിക്കാനുമല്ല അറിയാനും അറിയിക്കാനുമാണ്. Correct only. So, but you were also taking in that spirit only, very peacefully. You were listening everything, and your face and your attitude was like a very good student that I appreciate, because a good student only becomes a good teacher. Never otherwise happens. So that is the biggest quality and ethics of a teacher I have seen here in your presentation and your discipline and every way. So as the part of your systematic presentation, you were referring the historic aspects from the starting itself, how Guru was mentioning about all the social evils and other things. I think in that way, maybe you were this reference regarding Avarna, Savarna, and all other matters. I think maybe in that way you are proceeding in a historical manner, and very systematically we are coming to the integration of different ideologies of Guru and different philosophy of education. Together you are mixing, and I think when you were presenting the particular areas and slogas regarding Darshanamala and Atmopadesha Shadagam and all, the idealistic stand of education is naturally coming out. And then you were connecting it with Dewey's vision and the day-to-day daily affairs to present how this is being integrated with pragmatism. And also you were mentioning humanism. In that way, we cannot say that you were not mentioning about idealism. It was there because whatever philosophical aspects and the epistemological things we are presenting and thinking and analyzing, definitely the idealistic aspects will come out. Then the connectivity of the matters of national education policy and the current practices, implementations, government policies, etc. were coming out very beautifully. You are connecting it with, and means not all points, but many of the relevant points of Indian knowledge system and the importance of Indian knowledge system to survive. Subhash sir was also supporting that the attraction of the foreign universities and students may come to India to study the Indian philosophy like that. So that integration and the universalization of education aspect was also mentioned there. And Sudhir Babu sir was specifically asking us, saying about equity and equality. It is sometimes it may be an aspect of political charging, but without equity there is no equality. That is what my opinion. And I was thinking that your mentioning was also in that point of view, because especially India, like India, a nation like India, with the cultural diversity and because I am experiencing it. Now I am in Aizawl. Never we can say that Aizawl has to become like Kerala or any other part of India. No, it is not possible. If we are insisting to do something like that, it may make something against equality. So everything has its own relevance, its own genuineness, its own benefit, its own peculiarities, and etc. So in that way, if we are accepting it and we are valuing it, that is what equity. I don't understand. I don't think that I am not wrong, or I understand that word equity like that, because the essence of something has to be considered as such, with its social relevance and other things. And never we can say that, especially in the philosophy of Narayana Guru also, why Narayana Guru is telling that the whole world is has to be observed and viewed as one. Even though there are differences, that difference, when we are considering the difference, that is equity. When we are accepting that difference, that is equality. So this is the ultimate aim of education. You beautifully concluded your point that the path towards freedom. Freedom is the one of the biggest thing, because without freedom, nothing will be flourished. Nothing will come out. So freedom, education for freedom. This was the philosophy behind Shanti Niketan, and naturalistic education, and negative education. Really, negative education is the freedom. If we are giving a child to giving freedom to a child, that child will learn something themselves. That child will learn from observation, through observation, from surroundings, etc. And this reinforcement, positive and negative reinforcement, is coming at negative education. Then only they will accept gradually to the educational higher end objectives, I think. So freedom is the first one. Then unity. In that freedom, with that freedom, becoming part of something, that is the beauty of unity. And finally, for humanity. So beautifully you have ended your presentation, concluded your presentation with all that systematic points, you know. That way, I think this was very valuable moments you have given to us, and it was guiding towards so many other discussions and elaborations. So that is what the real essence of your presentation, and that's all. Thank you very much for all of us. And once again, Rajesh sir, over to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. It is indeed wonderful to have such vibrant discussion. Unfortunately, today my video is having some technical problems, so I couldn't really come face to face with the wonderful audience that we have today. As always, it was a very enriching experience for me as well, a learning experience, and definitely, I'm sure once this whole process of having all these webinars do come to an end, surely I will be a much better person in terms of character, ethics, and so many other things that Sri Narayana Guru so vibrantly expressed during his lifetime. So once again, I thank Dr. Dinda Muralidharan for that very elaborate and very expressive presentation that you have made. Definitely, it had many points which made us think over and over again. And your presentation was made much more enriching by the very vibrant discussion that we had, which followed your discussion as well. I thank you and all the wonderful participants of this webinar. I do request each and every one of you to come back again for subsequent editions of our webinar. Without you, this program will not succeed at all. So thank you, Anna, and it is, as always, a great pleasure to have you.
Pradeep Kumar sir was also behind her, and I think this work was done together, I think.
Yeah, we also congratulate him as well for this wonderful work. Of course, it couldn't trace his presence unfortunately due to various factors. So, but it is so wonderful to know that he's also there. And maybe some other day he also can surely intervene and give his thoughts separately as well. So thank you one and all, and definitely do join us for future sessions as well. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Abu sir.
Thank you.